We're doing a little bit of review on this PASENTEL chandelier, and excuse the movement here, but I just want you to get a little bit closer look of what's going to be hanging from there. These are the little diamond shaped beads. They'll be hanging from the chandelier. You can look at the picture to see it all put together. Another section. These are labeled different, so when we go to put it together, we'll either be doing they label it like N or O over there. Here's another piece. It's going to be a part of it. These are the chains on it. Of course, you're going to adjust those chains to your height. We'll talk about that in a little bit. These are the little chandelier balls towards at the end. Here's your base. This goes up on this is what will be up on the ceiling itself. And underneath it, you can see the bracket here. This is what's going to mount to your ceiling into the electrical box. And the wires will come through. You'll hook that up. We'll show you that. So you're going to want to undo these screws here. There's 4 of them. And you're going to want to undo those screws and mount this plate first. Pull the wires through that you're going to be hooking up to. And then we're going to assemble everything else. You'll need some help. But then we'll be able to just lift this up, attach these wires, hook these screws in right here, and you'll be done. So these are the main hooks here coming off your ceiling. This is what the lights look like, where the lights mount into. You have 2 of those, of course. And these are beautiful little decorative bell shape. This is what's going to give stability to these lights. Here's your frame. And it's a little complicated. We're going to try to put it together and see how it goes and show a little video of that. The quality itself is really nice. It's made out of metal. It's not plastic. The frame is metal. The base is metal. It's powder coated. This one's black. So it has a beautiful matte finish to it. And just some specs. Some specs on this is the chain length that they give you is 98 inches. But of course, you can adjust that chain length. They give you 2 of those chains, by the way. You can adjust that chain length to whatever size you want. You could have a maximum length off the ceiling of 123 inches with this chandelier. So this can go up on a 12-foot ceiling or even higher, and then you can drop it that 123 inches, and it's designed to sit over your dining table or whatever it is that you're going to be using it for. The width of this right here is, the length here is 17 inches, and it's about, I guess, 5, maybe 6 inches wide. The chandelier or the fixture height itself is 24 inches. So when these get done hanging, and you've got these guys here attached to these light holders, and you'll see all that in a little bit. When it all hangs down, the fixture itself is 2 feet in height. And so, these are things you got to keep in mind to know at what height are you going to make your chains, on how high you want this thing to be up off your dining table. And we'll talk about all that again later after we do it. We'll let you see what we, what our decisions were, and what it looks like. The depth of the fixture is 14 inches, so it's 14 inches deep, 24 inches in height, and 36 inches long. So this is a nice size chandelier. So you've got your 14 inches here, your 36 inches here, and then when we put this thing together, you'll have the 24 inches in height on this chandelier. All right, so that is what we going to start with here, and we'll let you know what we come up with. All right, so these are the instructions, and the 24 inches is from the bottom of the little crystal ball all the way up to this part at the top of the two stabilizers there. And you can see all of the little crystals that you have to hang on this frame, and they hang right here. You can see maybe, I hope you can, the little hose all along here goes all around that frame, and you're going to be hooking these crystals right here. You get one. This crystal here, you can see it, and you're going to be hooking that little hook right there into that hole, and you're going to go all the way around this frame, and then underneath you can see there's going to be some crystals hanging there, and then the main crystal there, and those are coming off of this guy right here. You can see the little hole in there. Well, you can't, but there's a little hole at the very bottom, and then there's a hook here, here, and here, and that's where those other chains are going to hook to. And this would be what it will look like from a side view. Now, these chains are 98 inches long, so you would open up one of the links once you know how long you want it, and you would remove the amount of chain that you don't want, so that it hangs off the ceiling the height that you are choosing. Okay, on the assemble, the first thing we're going to do is take the lamp holder, or the part that holds the bulbs, and you have to manually turn these up, right? So you're going to turn them up so that they're straight, right, or the opposite direction of this pendulum. So you want it to go up, and you're gonna do that on all three of these, so that it looks like this. Then we're going to attach the metal rod that's already in the wire. We're going to attach that here to the screw port. We're going to run this metal piece and attach it to this, what they call the bail here. It fits through the metal frame, and so we're going to put all that together, and then I'll show you when it's done. All right, so we take the lamp housing and we turn them so that they're pointing up. We attach the metal bore to the screw on that base, and we run these bails, what they call a bail stabilizer, we run them through the hole on this housing, and we attach the other end of the rod to that screw there. We do both. So the difficulty there is you're going to have to pull this wire through so that the pieces can come together. You have to make sure the extra wire is all the way through. Now here's where we're going to be hanging all of our little crystals along this thing, and finishing that out. And we also have some crystals that are going to hang on this here, and then that are going to hang on the bottom of this point right there. I'm gonna get set up for that. Okay, so what we're gonna do next is you remove this plate that is attached to the base here. Remove this plate, and I'll show you shortly, but we're going to attach this to the ceiling where the old light was. So this is attached to the electrical box up in your ceiling. Now, let me say that if you're not comfortable with working with electric wires, then you probably should hire someone, a professional, or get someone that is comfortable. Make sure the power is disconnected. Most people flip just the switch because it's a light switch, but it really is best to throw the breaker and make sure the power is dead to that light switch before you start. Now, when you put this up on your ceiling, you're going to run the wires through this hole. They're going to be sticking down. This is a universal adapter on this plate, and it's guaranteed to match up to the holes that are in the box up in the ceiling. Then you're going to put anchors, but you're going to be anchoring this plate to the ceiling. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's just sheetrock anchors. These do not hold the weight. This holds the weight. But these anchors stop this from twisting once it's on the ceiling. And so you want to make sure you have this parallel in the position that it needs to be when you mount those. Okay, so once we get that mounted, then we're going to take these chains, and of course we're going to have to determine the length. We'll look at that. One end of the chain is going to go to this hook right here, and the other end of the chain is going to go to the hook on this plate. This goes up on the ceiling. The chains hang down to here. And then remember you have the 24 inches, and that's why you have to decide how long you want this chain. Once we have this thing mounted up on the ceiling, we get the changes up, we'll bring this up like this. This will be up on the ceiling like this. We bring this up against it on the ceiling, and then we screw the holes on both sides of this, and that's what holds the weight of this chandelier. And once we get all that done, then once it's hanging, we'll go in and we'll hang all of our little bitty diamonds or whatever crystals there. We'll hang them around and finish it off. So my old chandelier hung down 33 inches from my ceiling. And so to know what length of the chain that I want, if I measure here, it's 19 inches. So from here to the bottom of the chandelier is 19 inches. This loop is 2 inches, which makes that 21. This loop is 2 inches, makes it 23. And so 33 minus 23 is 10 inches. So I want 10 inches of chain to hang from my ceiling. And that's how you're going to figure out how long you want that chain to be. Okay, so I've got my bracket on there. You can see zoom in there, you can see the 4 screws on the outside, or the outer length of the plate, and then the 2 screws that are holding it up against the electrical box, and the wires are just coming down out of the plate. All right, so what we have to do now is judge the distance of the wire and the chain to hang it from the ceiling. Now I know that I want to be between 33 and 36 inches to the bottom, to the tip of this chandelier. So I measured this distance, which was 22 inches to the top of the ring. So let's say I'm going to go 34 inches. Then 34 minus 22 is 14. So I know that from the bottom of this ring right here, this ring's 2 inches. So if I want 14 inches from that ring to the base, then I want 12 inches between ring and ring. So I want 12 inches of chain. So what I did to mark that is I measured out 12 inches of chain, and then I took this little clamp that they have here, this link, this adjustable link, and I put it on the link I know is the distance that I want, right? And then I screw it back on, and I know that's what I want. And you can just count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I'll do the same on the other side. So now I can remove these 2 links, and it'll just leave me with these 10 links and the adapter here, the hook, the link hook that will hook onto the ring. Now on the wire, it's important. Not only do I want the 14 inches, which is going to go, up the chain into this hole, but it also has to travel to the center of this bracket because that's where the connections are going to be. So you have to have that distance and a little extra to connect and push up into the box. And so, just so that you know, mine ended up being, I think, 35, around 35 inches, yeah, 38 inches, 30 or 39 inches long. Now, remember, leave enough wire, because you're going to want to go in and out this chain, so your wire is through the chain. That's the way it's designed. It goes through the hole right here in the ring, through that hole right there in the ring. And see if I can bring it through. Here's your ring, and then there's a hole right there. Your wire goes through that. It travels in the base to the center, and then it's going to connect to the ceiling. All right, after you've got the length of the chain that you want, and what you're going to do is you're going to run this wire through these loops. I went every other loop so it wouldn't crinkle the chain up too much, and you're going to do that on both sides. Then you'll attach this loop here to both of these, and then we're going to carry this thing over. We're going to lift it up, use those 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, to go into the side of that bracket up on the ceiling. And that's going to support all of the weight. Then we'll put our lights in, and then we'll start hanging the little chandelier pieces. So when you're done, it's going to look something like this. Your plate with your chains, the distance that you want. My ceiling's 9 feet. If you got a 10 foot or 12 foot or 16 foot, there's plenty of chain and plenty of wire. Just make sure you measure to get the right distance between here and here. Remember, from here to the bottom of the chandelier, it's about 22 inches. So you have to add that to the length of the chain to know how far down your chandelier is going to be from the ceiling. My chains are hooked to the hooks here, all the way through. My wires are in through the chains. I have the extra wire here. It'll come over to the center and then up into the ceiling. And that's what she looks like once she's hung up there. This is what the 6 little candle-like lights in the chandelier. I have to straighten those up just a little bit, and we're gonna put on the crystals now. By the way, they give you these gloves here to wear so you don't get fingerprints on your crystals. All right, there are different types of crystals, and you want to start, of course, with the crystals that are going to hang on your bales here, and then on the inside hooks on your lights and up underneath, and then let this outer line of crystals, they call it O, comes in packages called the letter O, would be last. Otherwise, you're going to be working around all those crystals. So you want to work from the inside out. This is the chandelier finished. See it here at a little bit of a distance. We'll turn the light on. And there she is. Just gorgeous.